get started?
I am.
All right, let's do it. It's a little bit early by 30 seconds, but we'll go ahead and get started. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Welcome to the September 12th, 2024 meeting of the Board of County Commissioners. My name is Kevin Cook. I serve as the chair this year. Joining us today is Commissioner Bill Rippon. Good morning.
Morning.
Commissioner Mays is not able to join us, but we have Ms. Ottawa standing in as our clerk. Good morning. And then Mr. Eckert as our county counselor.
Good morning.
Might note that we have a guest in the audience. Ms. Griner's back visiting us from Chicagoland, and so we're glad to have you back for today.
Who?
So quickly we forget. Ms. Clerk, Madam Clerk, our first item.
Item 2, unfinished business. A, consider authorization and execution of contract C-278-2024, a memorandum of agreement with the Prairie Band Potawatomi Nation for housing the nation's inmates at a daily rate of $100 per inmate and all off-site medical services paid.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. As you recall, this item was deferred so we can ensure that the language captured any concerns that we had regarding the housing of the inmates from Potawatomi Nation. Those issues were addressed, and I will be happy for any questions you may have.
Okay. Any questions? No. I have had all my questions answered. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Thank you very much, Brian.
Thank you.
Our next item.
Item 3, consent agenda.
Any questions?
No.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? And it passes 2-0. Our next item.
Item 4, new business. A, county clerk. Number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Okay, vouchers of interest, under bridge project, $146,310.53 to King Construction Company for bridge replacement project on South Topeka Boulevard over Wakarusa River. Under Public Works, $75,430.25 to Motorola Solutions, Inc., for replacement radios and accessories. Under solid waste, $146,155 to TLG Operations for replacement of a rear load refuge truck. Total vouchers, $3,173,984.86. If there's no questions or comments, I would move for approval of the vouchers.
I'll second. Motion made by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 2-0. Our next item.
Number 2, consider correction orders.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 2-0. Our next item.
Item B, planning department. Number 1, public hearing and consider approval of resolution number 2024-62, a conditional use permit to establish a public use facility fire station on property zoned RA1 Rural Agriculture District and located in the 5400 block of Southeast 61st Street in Monmouth Township.
Good morning, Commissioners. Joni Thadani, Director of the Planning Department. As mentioned, we do have a public hearing for a conditional use permit for a new fire station, also known as a public use facility for the Shawnee Heights Fire District. Within my staff report and the considerations, so Article 2 of Section 2 of the Shawnee County zoning regulations allows a public use facility to operate within the zone as long as there is a conditional use permit. That allows us to take serious consideration of the use. A lot of times there's offices operated in an area that normally there wouldn't be offices, or other considerations that we need to take. In this case, it's a 3-acre parcel along Southeast 61st Street. This was identified by the fire district as a location nearly 20 years ago. They had originally come to us to do a conditional use permit back then, and then had not moved forward with building the fire station. And so a conditional use expires if it hasn't been started up after a period of 24 months. And so they had to come back to us and ask again for this conditional use permit. And they are moving forward at this point in putting the fire station here. We don't anticipate that that will be delayed very long. Growth in call volume has indicated that expansion for the district is needed. This area has been growing for years, and especially now we see a lot of division of property and houses going into this area. Timing of the station falls in line with their strategic plan. The location will help overlap with other fire stations within the area so that they can ensure the proper coverage for the people that live out there. This station will operate 24 hours a day and have 3 people as firefighters 7 days a week, as well as it will serve as their new headquarters and administrative offices. In my review, I found that the proposal did in fact satisfy the golden factors. Location of it is off of Southeast 61st. Agricultural, as you can see, the property itself has been used as farm ground for quite a number of years. There are residential homes across the street, and then if you saw a greater expansion of the area, quite populated out there as well. 1,000 feet notification district. This is who we had to notify. There were 16 letters sent out. We did not get any comments from anybody prior to the public hearing that was held by the Planning Commission. We did have one person show up at the meeting and express their support. And then after the public hearing, we have had another person reach out and express some concern in regards to drainage. However, I would note that those concerns are taken care of as a part of the conditional use permit. We require a drainage report to be submitted as a part of that, one of the conditions. And then they will have to have that reviewed by our engineers at the Public Works Department. Any considerations or requirements will be required as a part of the being able to get a building permit. This is just an example of the site plan. It has been and it will continue to be rectified and suited for the property. We have met on a couple of occasions to talk about things like where's the septic system going to go, where's drainage going to go, how wide can the driveways be, what kind of material do they need to be. So all of that will be taken care of and will have to be submitted to us for final review before they can get a building permit. And again, this is the inside layout. I've already mentioned the public input that we've had, but the Planning Commission action, they held their public hearing on August 12, 24. And after comments, questions, and discussion, the Planning Commission did vote to recommend approval 5-0. My recommendation would be approval subject to the following conditions, and then I listed out all of the conditions that they would need to meet. And other than that, I will stand for any questions prior to opening the public hearing.
Okay. Questions for the planning director before we open the public hearing?
Now, this is a new additional facility. It's not replacing anything.
It is not replacing anything at this time. They're doing work on other facilities and reconditioning them as well for the additional overlap and support needed. And I believe that there is some consideration of eliminating a station, but that has not been decided at this point. They are trying to get everything situated first.
And they're on rural water and
Correct.
and lateral fields.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay.
I'll make a motion then to open the public hearing.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook to open the public hearing, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed, passes 2-0. We will now hear from anybody that's in favor of this. Chief Flory, looking at you.
Good morning, Kevin Flory, Shawnee Heights Fire District. We would just like to ask the Commission's approval on this project. We as a fire district look forward to enhancing the safety and security in that portion of the county. We feel like the growth out there has been quite rapid, and we're ready to help protect that as best we can. We would seek your permission.
With the approval, if the commission grants approval today of this, what's your timeline for construction of the new station?
So this station on this property, we would anticipate starting construction in the spring potentially. Depends on the kind of weather conditions this winter, but hoping for the spring.
Okay. And then the completion date would be by summer or by fall?
Right now, they're telling us about, probably would be the spring of '26.
Okay, so about a year?
Yeah.
All right. So then you would not be probably looking to occupy that space. We would not have it active as a fire station for about a year.
Correct.
Okay. Questions, Commissioner Ribbon?
None.
All right. Thank you, Chief.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other individuals wanting to speak in favor of this conditional use permit? Any individuals wanting to speak against the conditional use permit? Seeing none, pleasure of the commission.
I would move that we, in the hearing and approve the project.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon to close the public hearing and adopt the conditional use permit. A second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Our next item.
Item C, County Councilor, number 1, consider approval of resolution number 2024-61 to provide property tax relief for Brian L. Ronce pursuant to Shawnee County Resolution number 2023-32 on his property located at 2600 Southwest Bell Avenue, which was destroyed by fire.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kyle Edelman, Assistant Shawnee County Counselor. I don't have any really much to add beyond what Ms. Otto said. We've done this type of resolution several times. We're just asking you approve this particular resolution.
Questions?
No question.
Motion-
Yeah, I would move that we approve this.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 2-0. Thank you, Kyle. Our next item.
Item D, Public Works, number 1, consider awarding a bid, RFQ 36-24, to Mid-States Materials LLC of Topeka, Kansas, for up to 12,000 tons of sand at a unit cost of $12.85 per ton. This material will be used during the winter of 2024-25 in support of snow and ice removal operations on county-maintained roads, as well as on Grove and Monmouth Township roads.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. Gosh, I hate to say it, it's that time of the year again, we've got to be thinking about winter. I think last week I was before you with salt bids, and this week it's sand. Salt's probably our #1 chemical that we use on the roads. We use sand as a kind of an extender for our salt, and we use it in certain locations like at intersections, et cetera, that maybe we need a little more traction. But anyway, at the business at hand, we received 2 bids. One was the lowest best bid from Mid-States Materials, and I'm recommending that you approve that bid. And with that, I look forward to your questions.
Questions?
No questions about sand.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 2-0. Our next item.
Number 2, consider authorization and execution of amendment number 1, contract C-286-2024 to professional design services, contract C-125-2023 with Cook, Flatt, and Strobel, PA for construction engineering services on the Southwest Auburn Road reconstruction project. Costs will be paid for using multiple sources and multiple public works operating budgets.
Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. You know, it's really a good idea that the firm that did the design work is also the firm that does the inspection. It doesn't have to be that way, but it's really best because, quite frankly, who knows the project better than the designer? So I'm asking you to approve an amendment to an original design contract that will include construction engineering services. That includes, you know, inspection, maybe some testing, things like that. And with that, although this memo talks about $674,470, that is just for the additional cost of CE services. The original design services were an additional approximately $500,000 to $600,000. So with that, I look forward to your questions.
Questions for Mr. Niehaus?
Don't have any questions.
Nor do I.
I would move for approval.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. All opposed? It passes 2-0. Thank you. Our next item.
Item E, Audit Finance, number 1, consider approval to fill the vacant Auditor 1 position at Range 17, Step 4, with a candidate of extensive experience, including benefits. The annual compensation for this position will total $83,342.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jennifer Sauer, Financial Administrator. I'm just here this morning asking you to consider this position, as Chris stated. This candidate came to us with a lot of experience, including prior experience at both the treasurer's level in other counties, as well as motor vehicle experience and extensive knowledge about our tax collection software. So she should be a nice addition to our office, finally getting us up to 100% staffing and looking at being able to start around September 23rd.
Questions?
Did you bring the candidate?
No, no,
Okay.
That was pretty good.
I don't think she'd come at step 4.
I have no questions. I would move for approval.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 2-0.
Thank you very much.
Our next item.
Item F, Parks and Recreation, number 1, consider approval and execution of the attached application summary and local funding statement, which allows Shawnee County Parks and Recreation to submit a Land and Water Conservation Fund grant application for the construction of rentable cabins located at Lake Shawnee Campground is requested. The preliminary project estimate is $297,979, with Parks and Recreation's responsibility of 50%, $148,989.50 being paid through the campground revolving fund.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jess Rakestraw, Parks and Recreation. Chris, sorry for the long description. We would like to apply for this grant to begin construction, well, to hopefully help fund construction of 2 cabins out at the campground. We did the master plan back in 2021. We finished the first phase of construction last summer, which included the north half of the campground and upgrading those campsites. It is 50-50, as Chris mentioned. Confirmed with Audit Finance, we could pay our portion out of the revolving fund. If awarded, we'd probably get this in spring of 2025, with construction beginning ideally fall 2025 through spring of 2026. So be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Since we did the renovations to the campground, what has been the response?
Positive. You know, the renovation we did was spreading the sites apart, adding concrete pads, adding utilities. The occupancy level has gone up at the campground year after year. So I think it made a 10% jump from 2022 to 2023, which is pretty significant. So it's been well received thus far. When we did the master plan, the public engagement portion, they asked for utilities, they asked for more spacing, and they asked for cabins. So we've knocked 2 of the 3 out on half of it. This will be the 3rd step.
When we're looking at the cabins, when we did the renovations, we've already set the sites for where the cabins would go, and so it's mainly just construction of the cabins at this point.
Correct. They're already pretty well leveled. There's already utilities to the site. There are 6 sites prepped for cabins. At this time, we're just pursuing 2. We were trying to get the revolving fund built up a little bit to help fund this, so this is where we're starting.
When we're looking at cabins, are we looking at what you might think of as a traditional on-the-ground cabin, or are we looking at something more unique? We've seen everything from the wagons that are
Yes.
Glam cabins to other things. What do we have an idea of what we're looking at?
Well, we do. So the glam cabins are really neat and interestingly enough made right here in Topeka. But we're looking for a little bit more ADA-friendly route right out the gate. So I'm not ruling, those out by any means, but I think our first ones probably need to be the more traditional cabin type. So that's what we're starting with. They would be just stick-built construction from the ground, so.
Okay. And this grant application's a 50-50 match,
It is.
and the county's portion would be $148,000, so rounding up $150,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And do we believe that we would have that fully within the revolving fund by the time that the grant application came through?
Yes, it's there now, and I've confirmed with Audit Finance prior to this, so yes, we're confident in that.
Are these cabins kind of comparable to what Wildlife and Parks built at some of their reservoirs?
You know, they're not fully designed yet. I mean, we have worked with Brian Falk to come up with a design. They're not the exact same. We didn't want to build something just like what already exists at Clinton Lake up the road.
Yeah.
So yes, they'll be a little bit different. We hope to have it a little bit more unique to Lake Shawnee, but it has not been set in stone as far as the design.
Do you know, like, inside, will it be able to house like 6 people or 8 people? Or
Yeah, so the plans we've come up so far are 1 or 2 bedroom options, and then having a couch out in the living room, which you could probably add somebody to. But yeah, I would imagine 5 to 6 people,
Okay.
as far as sleeping is concerned.
Okay. Sounds like fun time.
Yeah.
Okay. Questions?
No, I would move for approval.
I'll make a second to this. So motion to approve by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Passes 2-0. Thank you. Our next item.
Item G, Department of Corrections, number 1, request approval to prepare specifications and issue an RFP for a replacement boiler in the 1998 edition, servicing the industrial laundry room for an estimated cost between $35,000 and $45,000 to be paid from the 2024 detention budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Phelps, Department of Corrections. After about 20 years of faithful service, our boiler that services our laundry area broke. We've spent some time trying to see if we could go a state contract option, but what's available there will not carry this load. So we want to go out for RFP, but we have an estimated cost and we have funds in the budget to cover it. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Questions?
No.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Passes 2-0. Thank you. Our next item.
Item H, Information Technology, number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-289 2024 with Choice Solutions for 1 Nutanix nodes with software and licensing using State of Kansas contract pricing at a cost of $77,388.39.
Morning, Commissioners. Mark Price, Information Technology. This is for a node to add to our existing Nutanix infrastructure. We have 2 setups, one for public safety and one for non-public safety. This would be going into our public safety node. That node is running out of disk space where we're not at a critical level, but we want to make sure we can account for future growth, and this will allow us to add space and capacity and have future growth.
Commissioner Rippon?
I have no questions.
All right. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Passes 2-0. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. Our next item.
Item 5, Public Comment.
This is an opportunity for any member of the public to address the commission. Mr. McClure?
Good morning, Commissioners. How are you? Nice to see you. Cheers. Hey, so the Jetto meeting I was at the Jetto meeting last night. I did rewatch it afterwards, so I didn't miss anything. It's pretty easy to give away money. I mean, it's pretty simple. I was in the shopping mall business, and the first deal I gave away money was like about 10 years after being in the business, because my friend Mace Siegel and my mentor knew Carl Karcher that owned Carl's Jr. And he said, yeah, give your buddy whatever you want. Okay, so what I'm saying, it's great to have that investment, but how's it gonna grow the tax base? Did we analyze that? And how did it grow the population? So over the years, since I've been pushing retail development, since that's one of the things I'm pretty good at, people have not wanted to, and maybe it's just because it's Henry McClure bringing it forward, but people haven't wanted to support economic development money for retail because of a multitude of reasons. And one of it, and I think that really the first reason they don't do it is because the chamber, their Greater Topeka Partnership, controls the dollars, and they don't want anybody infringing on their base. And everybody says, well, you know, that's just going to take away from this guy, and that's going to take away from that guy. But nobody considers the pull factor. That the more retail that you've got, good retail, and the good stores and goods and services, because our MSA is so much larger than the city of Topeka, the county of Shawnee. And just go look at the license tags in Sam's. But I tell you what was really disappointing more than anything was poor little Israel. I mean, we're back, what, $1.1 million, $1.2 million in the 10% set-aside funds? And he had to have, it was like Mom was standing there during his presentation. The reason that there's a set-aside is because your contractor doesn't know how to put deals together. You've got to know, like, who needs it, why they need it. I mean, far too often in this community, we just use consultants and consultants. And maybe for his department, I understand an engineer that might not be qualified, you know, maybe we need to change the terminology in certain times. But if you look at something I just exposed the other day about Benish in our community, spending $3.5 million. That's $875,000 a year to do engineering services for the city of Topeka. I was talking to Howard Paul, a friend of mine, the other day, and he goes, Henry, it's all engineering. It's all engineering. And but the thought of what that does to our tax base, I mean, it's almost $1 million. But we've got to start being more do-it-yourselves guy. We've got to do it. We've got to, you know, a $60,000 salary to some people is a lot of money. It is. It's a lot of money. And sometimes maybe we can do more of it ourselves. I'm not suggesting that one or two people are needed to do that job for economic development for the community, but it doesn't need to be Go Topeka or the Greater Topeka Partnership. Somebody from the city or the county ought to hire Molly or somebody qualified and bring one or two of them on staff. And then look to all the realtors in this town, the Sunflower Association of Realtors. Think about those 750 independent business people, because that's what they are. Each one of them is its own business because they're independent contractors, and they all live by the deal. They don't eat unless they make a deal. So it would be a really great, and I think there's some realtors that would be delighted to be the source of helping guide the new people that want to come to this community. But for example, when Walmart came to town, they opened up a very large printing facility inside Walmart. And there were other people in the printing business that lost their help. We got to get, if we have nice streets and a safe place to live, people, and low taxes, people will want to stay here and live here. And so we got to start taking it back to what we originally had, the quarter-cent sales tax. When I went out and sold it, so why I'm so angry about it, it's because what I told the taxpayers personally, what I told them it's to broaden the tax base, and to grow the population. And we're not, that's not the litmus test for economic development. Also, too, I'm gonna go back, and thank you for your time. I just want to say one thing in closing about all the vacant land and the land that should be, we just have to turn over the land no matter what. If a vacant lot hadn't paid taxes in 1 year, auction it. 2 years for a commercial building, auction it. 3 years for homestead, auction it. And we can't not do deals just because, well, we're gonna be stuck on the lot. We gotta turn over the inventory. That in itself will generate, that is economic development, turning over the inventory, making it available. We have no business sitting on any inventory. So what if we take it back next year? We'll do it again. And as long as the inventory's churning, and then there again, you can have the Sunflower Board of Realtors help make those deals. But think about the 740, 750 people, independent people. And I've always looked at it as a commercial developer. I've always looked at Go Topeka and the Chamber as my competition. They're in the real estate business. I'm really in the real estate business. I'm fighting you guys. Besides the planning department, I mean, think about how hard it was to get the permit for the pool. We've got to simplify things. This young man here shouldn't have to come to work and say, hey, I'm going to put together a proposal to bring back later. Let's not be so important. Maybe we could maybe we don't have to have meetings just to feel important. I know sometimes I just feel like I'm totally wasting my time, but when I'm out knocking on doors, people go, well, do you go down and tell them that? Yeah, I do. Trying. But people want change in this community. And we just got to be a little more nimble. We got to be more welcoming. Each of us got to work a little harder. I'll get you those flags. Thank you.
Any other public comment this morning?
Oh, okay. Save some money.
Any administrative communication? I guess, Ms. Otto, our next item?
Administrative communications.
This is an opportunity for any department head to address the commission.
I tried.
Yeah.
Kurt Enos, Director of Public Works, I'm pleased to announce that at least by tomorrow evening, South Topeka Boulevard over the Wakarusa, the new bridge, will be open to traffic. So I want to thank the public for their patience. I want to thank our contractor partner for their great work, and I want to thank our designer for their expertise. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other administrative communications this morning? Commissioner Rippon.
Yes. There's a lot going on at Ward Mead or Old Prairie Town this weekend. Starts Friday. If you're into history, there's a lot going on here. Let's see. They have, they'll have things going on at the drugstore. People be able to see the dentist's office and the doctor's office. They're going to have one lady talking about Anthony Ward, somebody from the Genealogical Society. They're going to have fireside stories at the Potwin Drugstore where they'll have s'mores available to purchase. And they're going to clear the park out except for the mansion, and they're going to be giving tours of the mansion. There's ghost tours from 8 to 9 and then from 9:15 to 10:15. And it doesn't stop there. Next day, they're going to be having, they're going to have the train station open, the depot, and the sleuth run. You know what a sleuth is? That's what miners used to, it was kind of a water-operated machine that you could put your ore on one end and it'd wash down and it'd separate out all the gems and the gold and everything. But anyway, they'll have that running.
Do we have any gold?
We'll find out. I don't know. Anyway, kids love this sleuth. I'm gonna be talking about the history of Old Prairie Town at 10 o'clock, and they're gonna be, also we have a lady gonna be talking about Cyrus K. Holiday at the school. And then we have Lisa Sandmeyer's gonna be talking about the history of Topeka Cemetery and the Ward Meat plot up there. Goes on, but anyway, they're gonna be going on till 8 or 9 o'clock that night, where they're gonna have, I think they finish up with a guided tour of Old Prairie Town after dark. So anyway, there's a lot going on out there for the whole family.
And that's
So
on Saturday?
it's Friday and Saturday.
Wow.
So anyway,
Okay.
you're looking for something to do?
And I understand that there's some football games on Friday night.
There's a K-State football game on Friday night.
I think that other team plays too, KU.
Pretty sure they do.
Yeah.
KU.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't like the colleges playing on Friday nights. There's always been traditional high school night.
Well, Saturday you have Washburn at Yager Stadium, so make sure you show up to support Washburn, and you can fit that in around Old Prairie Town.
Yeah.
All right. And then I understand the zoo has a fundraiser also Saturday night. So, a lot to do in the community. Our next item.
Executive sessions?
There is not a need for an executive session, so we are adjourned.